Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's review we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Earthrise Galactic Odyssey Collection Biosfera Autobot clones Fastlane and Cloudraker. Now these two figures, for those of you who are unaware, are basically the exact same figures that we got as part of the Titans Return toy line roughly 3 or 4 years ago now. So for those of you who do have those clones, then this set here will be an easy miss. And honestly I really do believe this just to be a cash grab on Hasbro's part, as they have not packaged in any new accessories with these figures and the paint decos appear to be almost identical to their original releases. Starting off here firstly by taking a look at Fastlane. Once again, if you have the original version you'll know exactly what to expect. However, for those of you like me who didn't pick this figure up, I'll go into a little bit more detail on this figure. You can see that there for the head sculpt they have opted to give him his more cartoon accurate appearance with the white faceplate and of course the blue visor, and I think that the sculpt work for that has come out really nicely. Something also worth noting is that as far as I can tell, the actual symbols on both of their chests are a little clearer on this particular release than they were on the Titans Return version. We've got some nice white paint applications here for the actual torso. You can see with the sculpt work there for the arms, and the fingers too has also come out really nicely. I do believe that these have either been completely painted or maybe cast in white plastic, whereas on the previous versions the actual interior of this circular section was indeed black with the outer section painted white. So that is also another difference that you'll be able to tell. You can see that we've got the Autobot insignia there, which has been done in a really nice black and silver, and as we take a look here down to the legs, you can see that once again very simplistic in terms of its overall design, however rather accurate to their appearance in the G1 series. And we've also got some nice silver paints there for the hubcaps and some nice silver and red paint applications down here for the lower section. As we take a look at him here from a back perspective, he does clean up rather nicely. You can see that we do have the spoiler section here at the top, as well as of course the two wheels here. So overall it's quite a nice looking clone here for Fastlane. And for those of you who have recently picked up the Decepticon Target exclusive clone pack and don't have the Autobot clones, then I think that these here will be a nice companion piece. Taking a look at articulation, if you lift this section up you are able to get the head to rotate the full 360. The arms here are on ball joints so can rotate the full 360 as well as hinge out to the sides. Due to the nature of the transformation we also do get a faux butterfly joint there as well. Full 360 rotation here at the elbow as well as a 90-degree bend there due to it being on a ball joint. No wrist rotation nor waist rotation. The legs can kick forwards that far as well as back to that far. They can also do the split. Full 360 rotation here at the thigh as well as a slightly past 90-degree range of motion here at the knee due to the hollow nature here of the back of the legs, and due to transformation the foot here can also pivot forwards and backwards. So that just about wraps it up here for Fastlane. Let's bring in Cloudraker, easily my favourite out of these two clones. I think that this one here looks fantastic, and especially when we do get him into his jet mode, I definitely think he looks the strongest out of the two clones in terms of his alt mode. But taking a look here at the details, for the most part, as these are Autobot clones, their robot modes are very similar to one another. It is merely some of the external components such as the jet part and of course the wheels for the car mode that are the main differences. But you can see here that for his symbol he does have what appears to be a jet, whereas with Fastlane it was more of a land-based vehicle mode. You can see that the sculpt work here as well as the paint applications are more or less identical here. However, this time of course we do have the wing sections of the jet mode folded out here on the legs. And then as we take a look here at the head, unlike Fastlane who has the huge spoiler sticking out the back of the head, here for Cloudraker it is simply just the fin of the jet mode. This section here does have a tendency to come untabbed. It is supposed to sit flush against the back like so. So overall a rather awesome looking clone, and of course we do get the same articulation, so the head can rotate the full 360, ball joints, faux butterfly joint, ball joints here at the elbows, legs kick forwards that far, back that far. He only has a 90-degree range of motion here at the knee due to the nature of the transformation, and the foot here cannot pivot forwards and backwards all that much. So that just about wraps it up here for the clones in their robot modes. Let's bring out some comparisons. Here for a very quick comparison, we have the new Earthrise Autobot clones compared next to the recently released Decepticon Earthrise clones. And if you do have the Decepticon clones and you don't have the Autobot clones, then I'm pretty sure that you're going to want to pick these figures up. However, if you have picked these up in the Titans Return toy line, once again there really is no need to pick these figures up. I really do believe that it is a major missed opportunity for Hasbro not to package in some form of accessory with these particular figures, even if they'd just repack some old blasters from another pre-existing figure, just something slightly new to add to these figures. I think that that greatly would have amplified my overall impressions of these, especially as these do range between roughly $25 to $30 depending on where you are in the world, and these are only Legends class figures, so they should only really be about $10 each. And unlike the Decepticon clones, who I believe were packaged in a very weird way, where you would have to get the Takara Tomy exclusives in order to get the accurate decos, or you'd have to pick up all of these different exclusive box sets in order to obtain them, the clones here were actually quite easy to find. So unlike the Decepticon clones, I don't believe that they're going to have as much of an appeal as the Decepticon versions, but if you are collecting this Galactic Odyssey line, then of course you're going to want to get this one, as it does come with that almost Biosfera map piece. But taking the clones here out of the equation and turning to the transformation, once again, we'll start off here firstly with Fastlane. Very simplistic. You just want to take this section here, rotate that around. We then want to take the wrists and just fold those in like so. The wrists are actually very tight on this figure, which I was not expecting whatsoever. Bring this here up and around, and of course take the legs, snap them nice securely into place, then just take the feet, fold those out, and there we have Fastlane very simply transformed into his vehicle mode. And once again, considering the simplicity of this figure, I think that the vehicle mode for the most part is actually quite well done. You can see that we've got some nice silver paint there for the hubcaps, and the overall design certainly does resemble that of a racing car. It can also roll really well as well, even better than some of the deluxe Voyagers and Leader figures. And for those of you who are curious, you can lift this section up here in order to create this almost seated area for you to peg on some of the Titan Return headmasters. You can see that we do have a slot there where you'd peg the feet in, and of course this here is the backrest. So in terms of a vehicle mode, it's certainly a rather fun figure, and it's very easy of course to go back and forth from robot to vehicle. But taking a look here at Cloudraker, once again easily the more complex out of the two. To begin with, you're going to want to fold the wrists in here on either side. We're then going to want to take these and lift those up above his head. Take the head here, rotate this around so that the front is of course now facing the back. We can then take this section here, split this here all the way out. That will then allow you to come here to the back, take the nose cone, bring this section forward and snap that nice and securely into place. With that now done, we can take this, untap this from this slot, and then bring this section here all the way around, fold the feet in like so, and then with these you can lift these sections up on the top, very similarly to that of Fastlane. And then you can see that we do have a slot here that will peg into this tab, so just bring these up and over and snap them into place. It can be rather finicky to do due to the nature of their design and due to them being of a rather small nature. Just fold that section out, fold the foot in, and then of course align this up appropriately, snap that into place, and there we have Cloudraker fully transformed up into his jet mode. And once again, I think that this is a really nice looking alt mode, especially considering this figure's scale and the simplicity to the conversion. I do believe that the only major difference between this figure here and the actual Titans Return version is that the yellow paint application is a little bit longer in comparison and maybe a little bit thicker, but other than that, for the most part, once again, it is exactly the same to the previous release. You can see that we've got the Autobot insignia there. We've also got the aircraft symbol here on the chest, and very similarly to Fastlane, you can actually take this section here, lift this up, and actually seat a headmaster in there. And just taking a look here how it looks on the underside, you can also deploy the landing gear here at the front, which is quite a nice attention to detail. So that just about wraps up the review here for the two Galactic Odyssey Biosfera Autobot clones. Once again, if you already own these figures, then this set here is for sure an easy pass. I personally believe that out of all of the Galactic Odyssey collections, this set here is by far the weakest, as basically they're just reissuing two figures that we got previously. As mentioned before, the Decepticon clones originally were very elusive to actually track down, and the way that they were actually distributed was very weird, whereas with these they were quite easy to obtain in the original Titans Return toy line, and the paint decos are exactly the same compared to their original release, minus some slight discrepancies here with the nose cone. Whereas once again, I do believe that the Decepticon clones were slightly different in terms of their decos to the ones we got with the Earthrise version. So unless you're a die-hard Transformers Earthrise fan, and unless you really want to collect the entire Galactic Odyssey collection, then I think that these two figures here can for sure be an easy pass. I personally am glad to add them to the collection. It's nice for me to get some Autobot clones based on their appearance from the G1 series into my collection. However, if I did already have the Titans Return versions, then these here surely would have been an easy miss. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, please do let me know down in the comment section below, and also be sure to let me know on whether or not you will be adding these figures to your collection. I thank you all for watching, and until my next review, I'll see you then.